Alright. This is nothing more than my opinion on the voluntary police interviews given by John Ackroyd in his own words from 1990, 1992, and 2012. Before you watch and listen to this, go watch the documentary Ghost of Highway 20 if you haven't. I put the link below. I think you should go watch it. So according to John Ackroyd's many interviews, something happened to Rachanda between the hours of, let's say, 9:45 a.m. because in his own words, it was 9 to 9:30 when he got back home that morning. He was only there 10 or 15 minutes, and that he got back about 12:30 to 1 p.m. So whatever happened took place in an approximate window of 3 hours and 15 minutes of time. Is that right? This is probably going to be some tedious reading, and some of it repeats itself. I started with the timeline he gave. If you don't like this type stuff, I'd go click on something else. And by the way, I don't control the scrolling speed on the interviews, so I don't know. Either you like it or you don't.
Morning of the 10th, me and my Linda got up, got ready to go to work. Dropped Linda off at Brightview. I went into work, found out that it had no parts to work on my class, need to work on, so I asked for the rest of the day off. I come back up here, and about somewhere between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, and I seen Channy laying on the couch with the cats watching TV. I asked her if she wanted to go out, take some pictures and do it. She said, maybe later, but right now I'd like to finish watching TV, and then Mother gave her some chores to do. I don't know if it's cartoons or animated. I can look through the TV guide and then maybe come up with something, that my mother noticed that she likes to watch at that time. But, so I told her, okay, I'll just make a loop and see if I can find anything out there. So we'll be back somewhere around 12, 1 o'clock. Pick her up. And she said, great, then we can go out all afternoon, make a big loop, maybe take a lot of pictures, and then stay out. And she said, when we just go pick up Mother. She said something about hiding on the floor when Mother come out to get in the truck. Surprise her. I said, okay, that'd be great. So I went out, made a little loop, didn't see nothing. I got back in here, come down through the highway, and got back into the house. Noticed the door was open a little bit, and got up there, and Channy was not in the house. Went out, and I noticed the BB gun was not where it's supposed to be. It wasn't around, couldn't see it. I hollered a couple times for Channy, thinking she was right close. Wasn't there, so I figured she was out playing with neighbors' boys. Or down here getting pop or playing pool in the rec room up there. So I come down here, and Dick and Jimmy was in the office. And I asked them if they'd seen Channy. And neither of them seen Channy. And about that time we got a call of a truck with a load of asphalt broke down on the west side of Tombstone. So I called Dick over there, and we were over the truck waiting for the full truck to get over there with their hose so we could pull it in. And about somewhere between a little after 3, we think, we're not positive in time, Dick said he had to come back this way. And I called Dick, and he pulled into Lost Prairie Campground, and I seen him get out of the truck, so I pulled in too, figured he was going to mush me over. He said, Jimmy's heading that way, so we checked the hose to make sure Jimmy had the right hoses in the other car. Jimmy pulled in about 10 minutes later after we stopped. He he did have the wrong hose. I told Dick I'd run into the shop, get a hose put together. If we couldn't find the other hose, I'd try to put it on together real quick so we can get that pulled over here and dump for the asphalt set up. I got 2 hoses down off the shop and looked over all over for the fittings. Had no fittings over there that I needed. So I went to come over the other building here, and found out then that the assistant foreman had found the hose that we needed in his pickup and had already taken it over there. And I told Dick, I said, well, it's going to be late now from picking Linda up. So I just got my pickup and drove out to the yard heading for Black Butte. I got up and around on the other side of the construction. I remembered I didn't have Johnny, but I said, I'm going to be late, so she'd just too bad. The teacher stay around the house when she's supposed to be. I got over there and had to wait about 8 minutes for Linda to show up. She was the last one to come into the office over there. We emptied out the truck, and she punched out at 4:20. Picked up a check, drove into Sister's bank, deposited a check, and drove home. Johnny still wasn't here, but as soon as we drove into the carport, I noticed my BB gun leaning against the camper with the box of pellets on top of it. And the door was still locked. We didn't think of anything of it, because figured she was just off plan again. Linda noticed the chores wasn't done. But sometimes we do have to get after Cherry to do what she's told to do chores. Most kids. I grabbed a little pack of hot dogs out of the refrigerator and turned the TV on. I sat down going to eat them. And Linda jumped on me because that was going to be dinner. I told her, I said, there's only 2 hot dogs here. I said, I've done half of one. This is supposed to be a whole pack. So figured Jenny come back home, ate the hot dogs, and went back out. And was back down playing with Raymond and Randy. And I went outside underneath the carport and I heard Dave's dog barking like it always barks when the kids are down there playing around it. Yap, yap, yap. And I was thinking about going down there and telling China to get home. Linda just said, just leave her alone, she'll come home. She knows to be home before dark. Well, it got to be getting close to dark, so we went out looking for her. We were going to mail her butt for not being home when she's supposed to and not doing her chores. Dave was not home, so we stopped at Sherry's and asked if she'd seen the kid, and she said she hadn't seen any of them. She thought Dave's kids wasn't even around. So we come down to Robbie Strauss's and asked to see if he'd seen the kid, and then as we pulled up to Robbie's, we seen Dave pull in, so we turned around and went back up after talking to Robbie, and found out then that Dave had shipped his kids down to California a week or 2 weeks prior, and they weren't back. And both of us really got worried. And Linda got Sherry, and I took Sherry's boy Robbie out in the pickup, drove around in the spotlight, trying to see if we could find her. And even at 12:30, we still could not find her. And then we waited until the next morning we called, when we figured the 24-hour period for calling was up. In fact, we did it in 23 hours. And then we found out that on kids, there's no waiting period.
So we'll go back on Tuesday the 10th. When you get up in the morning, you get off about what time?
Somewhere between 5 and 5:15 usually.
So when you got up that morning before you left to go to work and take your wife to work, you didn't see your daughter?
No, I did not.
Okay.
And why, I don't know. No, Linda says she was sitting right there. She's small, and I got dressed in the bedroom, and I just walked out, and I was ready to go.
Neither one of you ate breakfast?
No, we don't eat breakfast.
All right. Okay, so you went to work, and you work in a maintenance shop in Bend during the summertime.
Right.
And you told your boss who was who?
The acting boss is Casey.
Casey?
Right.
All right. You told Casey that you wanted the day off because there was no parts to go there for a plow that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm working on snow. I don't know, it was just snow blast. And to do some more work on it, I want all the wheels to be on the ground instead of on jack stands. I feel it'd be a lot safer. The bearings was not in, and I figured I could come back up here and do something I wanted, mainly work on my pickup. And so I just asked for 7 hours off.
So you got back home at about 9:30, and when you went into the house, where was your daughter at then?
She was laying on the couch. She had all 6 kittens on top of her, and she was watching the TV.
Okay. What was she wearing?
A little ankle-length green kind of tweedy house coat with white socks.
All right. And what did you do then?
Well, I picked up my camera, which I keep over by the microwave, by the table, and asked her if she wanted to go out shoot some deer with me. And, like I said, she said she wanted to finish watching the TV, and her mother gave her some chores to do that she needed to do.
Okay.
So she did not, when I went out, she was still in the house, and I did lock the door behind me.
How long was you home before you left?
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Did you change clothes or anything?
No.
Wore the same clothes?
Right.
Okay. And when you left, did you take anything with you besides your camera?
Just a camera.
Okay. Any firearm?
Camera, I did fill up my water jug, but I forgot it. And I have guns in my pickup.
Okay. So where did you, when you left there, did you see anybody along here, talk to anybody, or which way did you go?
I didn't see anybody. I backed out, pulled down, drove around the house, down on the airport, because usually we have deer that likes to hang out on the airport. But there was no deer, and I just drove down the airport and come out by Little Nash, and then went through Little Nash parking lot, up to the whole wagon road. I got over it, got on the Big Lake, went down the wagon road there until I come to, I guess it's road 900. That goes up over Cache Mountain. And then I got off of 900 onto 800, go down the other side of Cache Mountain. Then I got back on the road number, I don't know, but it goes down to Highway 20, and there's a Y there. You go, one goes, it's called the toll road. And I turned around, thought I seen a deer there, so I just turned and headed back up the other road. It goes up by Tamarack Lake. And then I cut through Elliott Corbett's, and I seen did stop and talk to a forest ranger. He was asking me how to get to a certain lake, and he didn't even know the name of it, but he thought it was Cache Lake, but he couldn't find it.
Did he get out of his rig?
Yeah, we stood there, and he put the map on his hood, and his map wasn't too good, and I thought I had my map in mind. So I went back and I looked through my pickup, and I didn't have my map with me. So then we went back and we were talking on his map again, and we got to smelling gas. And his gas can had tipped over in the back, so he went back and lighted it up. And I volunteered to turn around and lead him to the lake that he was looking for. And he said, no, I don't have to get back. I'll just go up the road and head back home. And I said, well, I'll just let you go ahead because I'm looking for deer, trying to take some pictures. And so I called him out. I let him get far enough ahead of me to kind of be out of his dust. And then I stopped and unlocked my hubs here at the pavement where Elliott Corbett Park is, where they got the parking lot. And then I headed back up here. Come down through the construction again, and I waved at Strauss's wife. She waved back and pulled into the house. I seen the BB gun leaning against the trailer, and no Channing. So then I come down here to see if Channing was here, which wasn't, and like I said, I went over and followed Dick over to work on the truck.
Okay, so what time do you think you got back?
Oh, somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock.
Okay. When you came in, you said there was no Channing. Did you go in the house?
I went in the house and looked and called for her. She wasn't there. So, that's come out. When I got there, the door was unlocked and open. It wasn't latched. So I left there. When I left there to come down here to see if she was here, I did lock the door again and make sure it was shut. And come down here, and it wasn't 10 minutes after I was here that I bullshitted with Dick and Jimmy a little bit. And then we got that call about the truck being broke down.
Did you, when you went in that time, did you check in her room, see if her clothes were there, or
I did go into her room and seen that she had got out of her nightgown and got dressed, because her nightgown was laying inside the door on top of her suitcase and a bunch of other clothes laying on the floor.
Okay. So then we know that you came down and got with the boss here, and you went out and got this truck, and then you got back about...
It was somewhere after 3 that we got back here.
Okay. And did you tell your boss that you was going to stop and check on your daughter?
I told her I got to go back, I got to go over and pick Linda up. And, I mentioned to him that she's probably going to be ticked off because it's going to be a little bit late. But didn't have to stop for no construction, and didn't have to stop for the construction up here, so I made it just in time.
When you told your boss that you were going to pick up your wife, did you then go back up to the house before that?
No, I had my pickup parked over there, to get the hoses set up. And I just walked over here. I said, and I said, well, I gotta hurry up. I'm gonna be late. And I just got my pickup and drove out the yard and right straight up the highway.
You didn't go back up to the house?
I forgot all about Channing until I was way up the road.
Okay, so you went over and picked your wife up and went to sisters and came back to the house.
Right.
What did you tell your wife? Tell your wife anything when you first seen you? Did she ask where your daughter was, or did you have any conversation about that?
No.
She didn't say anything?
No, because see, usually I go to work and get off at 4 o'clock, and then I'm there at Black Butte somewhere right at 4:30.
Did you tell your wife you took the day off?
I don't even remember. I might have, but
You tell her later that night, or when you picked her up?
it'd be sometime that day. Probably told her,
You tell her when you picked her up, or that night, or the
I
next
don't know.
day, or?
Probably that same day. I mentioned about going out, to take pictures.
Okay. So anyway, you get back to the house, and this time the house is like you left it. The door's locked.
Door's locked.
But the BB gun's out.
BB gun's out.
Now, could it have been there when you left the first time and you're not seeing it?
I don't think so, because the night before, I spent 3 hours out there sweeping the pavement and hosing it off. And Jenny was sitting out there on the steps watching me. So that was all, that was all cleaned up. Moved things all around to get the wood chips and the bird feathers and mice hair up.
All right, so you went into the house with your wife, and first thing you had was a couple hot dogs.
Right.
All right.
Got chewed about that.
Okay. Because obviously your daughter hadn't done the chores that were supposed to have been done that your wife had left her to do.
No, I didn't find out until later what. And she mentioned something about Shannon was supposed to put the dishes that was in the sink or on the counter, one or the other, into the dishwasher and start the dishwasher, vacuum the rugs, and pull the chili out of the refrigerator and put it in the microwave and warm it up.
Okay. You told us in an earlier interview that after you'd gotten home, you had some sexual intercourse with your wife.
Right.
When did this happen?
The time?
Well, how long after you got home?
Yeah.
Still daylight?
Oh yeah, it was probably, let's see, picture up at 4:30, went in sister, back this way, so probably was somewhere around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Well, it had to be later that because we took a shower, so it was probably 7:30. And then we took a shower together and then eventually had sexual intercourse. And then we went and took another shower.
Okay. That's before you had the hot dogs or after?
That was after the hot dogs.
Okay.
I think, sure. Should be after the hot dogs.
Who initiated the sexual contact in this particular one?
I think I did.
Okay. And the other day, where did the sexual intercourse take place at?
On our bed.
In your bed?
Right.
So, one thing I want to understand with you is that you didn't report her missing for 24 hours, and your reason for that was,
Well, the reason for that, last winter we had a worker up here, his daughter, 15-year-old, went away. And he called into the police and they said you have to wait 24 hours. You also see it on TV where missing persons, you got to wait 24 hours. And we talked to a lot of people up here, and they all are under the assumption of 24 hours. And we found out when we did call the next morning that on kids there's no time limit. As soon as you can, call in. But now Chuck, the police department, told him 24 hours. And the county sheriff, who had called, said there's no time limit. So,
one question I wanted to ask you: Did you call your secretary or somebody in Ben later on that evening?
Yes, I called the secretary, told her Jenny's missing. That's at, I don't know time. But I know that night or the next day. It had to be that night because I actually, told her I wouldn't be in the next day. We were worried about Channing and we were going to look for her. So I called in for the next day off. And then the next day I called in for the rest of the week off. So,
Did you tell her that she was missing, run away, or do you remember what you thought?
missing, I believe.
Missing? Okay. What did you think at that time? Did you think she'd run off? Did you think she'd missing? What was your thinking at that time?
Well, at that time we just didn't know where she was. Maybe, we didn't know if she was just right here in the area and just not around, but after I talked to her, we went out and drove around looking, and I got back at the house about 12:30.
Was Linda with you?
She stayed, her and Sherry stayed together. Me and Robbie, that's Sherry's boy, went riding around with Spotlight.
Where are you?
covered both sides of the airport, down the airport road, through the last parking lot, and down the road goes on the other side of the airport. Both sides.
His story was that he just went out on a drive to take pictures of deer.
Some circumstances surrounding the disappearance of your stepdaughter.
Right.
What I'd like you to do is just go back and tell me when the last time you seen your stepdaughter and the events as they happened on Tuesday, July 10th, if you remember.
Okay. Well, morning of the 10th, me and my Linda got up, got ready to go to work. Dropped Linda off at Brightview. I went into work, found out that it had no parts to work on my class, need to work on. So I asked for the rest of the day off. I come back up here, and about somewhere between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. And I seen Channy laying on the couch with the cats watching TV. Asked her if she wanted to go out and take some pictures of some deer. She said, maybe later, but right now I'd like to finish watching TV, and then Mother gave her some chores to do.
And you told your boss who was who?
The acting boss is Casey.
Casey?
Right.
All right. You told Casey that you wanted the day off because there was no parts to go there for a plow that you're working on?
Yeah, I'm working on snow. I don't know, it was just snow blast. And to do some more work on it, I want all the wheels to be on the ground instead of on jack stands. I feel it'd be a lot safer. The bearings was not in, and I figured I could come back up here and do something I wanted, mainly work on my pickup.
Now, see, here he says he's going to go work on his pickup. Throughout the whole rest of these interviews, he talks about nothing but deer and going out looking for deer. And if you'll notice, he talks about, well, there's many places to find deer, but he never takes one picture of any deer.
And so I just asked for 7 hours off.
Okay. So you got back home at about 9:30, and when you went into the house, where was your daughter at then?
She was laying on the couch. She had all 6 kittens on top of her, and she was watching the TV.
Okay. What was she wearing?
Her little ankle-length green kind of tweedy house coat with white socks.
All right. And what did you do then?
Well, I picked up my camera, which I keep over by the microwave by the table, and asked her if she wanted to go out and shoot some deer with me. And, like I said, she said she wanted to finish watching TV, and her mother gave her some chores to do that she needed to do.
Okay. All right. So then you left to go take some pictures of deer. And this was about right at 10 o'clock or in the neighborhood.
Sure, right around that area. Now, I do remember the neighbor was just pulling out. I don't know if she seen me or not, because I was just getting in, and I seen her back out and go down the driveway.
Okay, and who would that neighbor be?
Mrs. Fullen.
The one right next door?
Right.
She was just pulling out?
Just pulling out.
Okay. All right. All right. So then you left and you were driving your pickup?
Right.
What is that?
That's an 84 Ford diesel pickup, 3/4 ton.
Color?
Blue and white.
Four-wheel drive?
Four-wheel drive.
Okay. All right. So where did you, when you left there, did you see anybody along here, talk to anybody, or which way did you go?
No, I didn't see anybody. Well, I did. I backed out, pulled down, drove around the house, down on the airport, because usually we have deer that likes to hang out on the airport. But there was no deer, and I just drove down the airport and come out by Little Nash, and then went through Little Nash parking lot, up to the old wagon road, and then over it got on the Big Lake, went down the wagon road there until I come to, I guess it's road 900 that goes up over Cache Mountain, and then I got off of 900 onto 800, go down the other side of Cache Mountain. Now I got back on the road number, I don't know, but it goes down to Highway 20, and there's a Y there. You can go, one goes, it's called a toll road. And I turned around, thought I seen a deer there, so I just turned and headed back up the other road. It goes up by Tamarack Lake. And then I cut through Elliott Corbett's, and I seen did stop and talk to a forest ranger. He was asking me how to get to a certain lake, and he didn't even know the name of it, but he thought it was Cache Lake, but he couldn't find it.
And where was this contact at?
That was on Elliott Corbett Road, approximately 3 miles in from the highway.
Did you happen to know maybe about what time it was then?
No, I did not.
Okay. What did this ranger look like?
He was an elderly gentleman. He's like he told me he was on McKenzie Bridge, and a little bit out of the section, but he was up checking out, trying to find out all, where this lake was, how to get to it. And we probably talked there from 10 to 20, maybe 30 minutes there. How long, I don't know for sure. But we looked at his map, and I tried to explain how to get there, different ways to get there.
So you're talking an elderly guy. How old are you talking?
Oh, I'd say in the 50s.
Did he have a hat on?
No, he did not.
Did he have a beard?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
Did he have a short hair, long hair?
it was kind of short.
Crew cut?
Probably about like mine.
Dark hair, light hair?
It was kind of whitish gray.
Lightish gray. What kind of vehicle did he have?
He had a Forest Service two-wheel drive with a box on the back.
Just him, full-size, short-size.
It was a Dodge.
Just him type.
No, it's kind of like a utility box.
Was it a full-size pickup? Or
Yeah, it's full-size.
Full-size
That's
pickup.
what, yeah. Full-size
Half-ton.
could have been a half ton or 3/4.
Did he get out of his rig?
Yeah, we stood there and we put the map on his hood. And his map wasn't too good, and I thought I had my map in mine. So I went back and I looked through my pickup, and I didn't have my map with me. So then we went back and we talked on his map again, and we got to smelling gas. And his gas can had tipped over and back, so he went back and lighted it up. And I volunteered to turn around and lead him to the lake that he was looking for. And he said, no, I'm going to have to get back. I'll just go up to the road and head back home. I said, well, I'll just let you go ahead because I'm looking for deer, trying to take some pictures. And so I followed him out. I let him get far enough ahead of me to kind of be out of his dust. And then I stopped and unlocked my hubs here at the pavement where Elliott Corbett Park is, where they got the parking lot, right by the upper chain up on Highway 20.
And then you came back east?
Yeah, I came back west.
I mean west, I'm sorry. West, that'd be towards your home.
Right.
All right. And
Come down through the construction again, and I waved at Strauss's wife. She waved back, and pulled into the house. I seen the BB gun leaning against the trailer, and no Channing. So then I come down here to see if Channing was here, which wasn't, and like I said, I went over, followed Dick over to work on the truck.
I believe he's about to tell a lie, so pay attention.
when you came back to the construction, did you see the same gal you seen earlier in the morning?
Right.
Did you stop and talk to her?
No, I did not.
Did you make any joke Looks like you were talking about him.
Just kind of, I held my camera up like I was going to take my pictures. She didn't notice I had my camera. I told her, I said, maybe one of my pictures going to come out.
So he did talk to her.
You took a picture of yourself?
Well, I took a picture of her.
Oh, you took a picture of her?
Yeah, actually,
Well,
take a picture.
I even had the camera aimed at her. I just kind of raised it up. When I raised it up, my finger hit the trip button. So I don't know if
You touched your arm?
yeah. When my hand hit the roof and it goes, doop.
Okay, so what time do you think you got back?
Oh, somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock.
Okay. The day that your daughter disappeared on July 10th, the idea was it to go take the photographs. I'm a little confused on that. There seems to be some discrepancies on the first time you talked to us and then...
I was going to go out and take pictures, and then she asked if she, if we go out, she wanted to go out and take pictures. Her idea to go out and take pictures of ponds, but
Okay. Now, you know, in the morning, we're about there, almost 10.
there are a lot of different places up there you can go out and see deer any time of the day.
Places up there you can go out and see deer any time of the day. But he drove for 2 to 3.5 hours and never took one picture. Okay?
I told us that Rashonda wouldn't do that, though.
She ended up coming home early. According to him, he asked her if she wanted to go for a ride with him. She said no.
Britannia did everything she could to get away from this man. She was not going to go and spend any alone time with him.
There took pictures of deer. That was so far-fetched.
When you're constantly in a state of fear all the time, actually analyzing what's going on is, you can't.
And got back to the house. Noticed the door was open a little bit, and got up there, and Johnny was not in the house.
Okay, coming up here it says, went out and I noticed, and it says inaudible, was not there. It's supposed to be. What do you think he says right here?
Went out, and I noticed the BB gun was not where it's supposed to be.
I heard BB gun. So, anyway.
It wasn't around, couldn't see it. I hollered a couple times for Jenny, thinking she was right close. Wasn't there, so I figured she was out playing with neighbor's boys. And I told Dick, I said, well, it's going to be late now from picking Linda up. So I just got my pickup and drove out the yard heading for Black Butte. I got up and around on the other side of the construction. I remembered I didn't have Johnny, but I said, I'm going to be late, so she'd just do that and teach her to stay around the house, where she's supposed to be. I got over there and had to wait about 8 minutes for Linda to show up. She was the last one to come into the office over there. We emptied out the truck, and she punched out at 4:20. Picked up a check, drove into Sister's bank, deposited a check, and drove home. Johnny still wasn't here, but as soon as we drove into the carport, I noticed my BB gun leaning against the camper with the box of pellets on top of it. And the door was still locked. We didn't think of anything of it, because figured she was just off playing again. Come down through the construction again, and I waved at Strauss's wife. She waved back, and pulled into the house. I seen the BB gun leaning against the trailer, and no Channing. So then I come down here to see if Channing was here, which wasn't, and like I said, I went over and followed Dick over to work on the truck.
Okay. So anyway, you get back to the house, and this time The house is like you left it, door's locked.
Right, door's locked,
But the BB gun's out?
BB gun's out.
Now, could it have been there when you left the first time and you not seen it?
I don't think so, because the night before, I spent 3 hours out there sweeping the pavement and hosing it off. And Jenny was sitting out there on the steps watching me.
Yeah, John, I wanted to start by asking some questions now. One thing was that you were at home and then you left for a while and you came back and Jenny was gone, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And about what time was that when you came back?
Let's see, somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Approximately.
12:30 to 1?
Yeah.
And when you came back, what did you notice?
Our door, the trailer was open,
Okay.
which is normal. I went in, seen that Jenny turned the TV off, and I went in the bedroom, and she, her nightgown was off on the floor. It was like which is normal. And I seen she wasn't in the house, so I went to go outside, see if she's outside, and I noticed my BB pellet gun was gone. So I thought she was just right out somewhere close, so I just locked and shut the door, and I went between the boat and my little shed we got up there, and called for her, but she didn't answer.
Okay. How did you happen to notice that the BB pellet gun was missing?
Well, it's right there by the door. You got a little pantry, and got about that much room between the pantry and the door.
Mm-hmm.
And that BB gun's been there since we moved in that trailer. It's very easy, something's always there. It's very noticeable if it ain't there.
Okay. So anyway, you come back and you find her missing and you find the BB pellet gun gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And then where do you find the BB pellet gun?
When we got back, I went down and picked Linda up, and I got back up there, it was about 6:30, somewhere in there. I can't remember the time exactly. Might have been right close to 6. First thing I noticed when we pulled in there at the carport was my BB gun was leaning against the camper.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was kind of strange because, kids will never be neat. The BB gun might have been leaning against the camper, but the box of pellets shouldn't have been sitting on the barrel. It's perfect.
Okay. What do you think happened? I mean, you're starting to speculate. You know she's gone, the BB gun was gone.
Well, I thought she was just out there, because she likes to go out with the BB gun and target practice.
Okay.
And she does have her own BB gun, but she's always been complaining that her BB gun is not very powerful. It might shoot 30 feet, and then it'll drop off. Where mine will shoot, say, 100, maybe 150 feet before it starts dropping off. So she likes to rip off my BB gun and take it out as much as she can. So I figured she was just out target practice and waiting for me to get back home. And then when I called for her and she didn't answer, I figured maybe she just went and got my BB gun and went down to the neighbors, because they got, the 2 boys down there's got a BB gun, and they like to go out and target practice. In fact, they like to go out and they'll like to try to sneak up on chipmunks and birds.
Okay, so you thought maybe she was target practicing with a BB gun, and then you found the BB gun.
No, this is quite later that I found the BB gun.
Okay. At what time did you find the BB gun?
Like it was about 6 o'clock when me and Linda come home.
You found it then?
Yeah.
Okay. So you found the BB gun at that point, and before then, between like 1 to 6, you thought maybe she'd been out target practicing, right?
Well, I figured she was out target practicing right around 12, you know.
So you could use a knife,
A gun, or, you know, he could have come up, and we've been thinking about this. Now, when the deputy come up and showed him where the BB gun was, he dusted it. And the only thing he found, the only print, was a smudge. And that's probably where I picked the BB gun up from, because I grabbed it right in that area. There was no prints on that BB gun.
Okay. Now you're talking about the BB gun that was leaning against the camper?
Right. Now,
and you're saying now that there were no prints except maybe a smudge from you?
Yeah. And that is odd, because Channy had that BB gun. There had to have been prints on that BB gun, but he dusted it, and there was no prints. And the way that BB gun was set, Channy would never set that BB gun that way. It was too neat.
Okay, so you're saying that someone wiped down the BB gun?
Yeah, he might have, you know, used the BB gun to hit her over the head and knock her out. And then wiped the BB gun and set it there.
Was there anything about the BB gun that might make you think that?
The way it was set. You know, because we've been talking quite heavy about that. And I agree with Linda. When Channy had the BB gun, there's been times I got after it. She'll lay it on the porch. Or, you know, I got those 2 sawhorses and that little piece of plywood. She has laid it up on there. She is not the type, and I haven't seen no kid that would set a BB gun up and set a box of pellets right on top of the barrel, very neatly.
Okay.
That might be a thing to do, is having that one guy do that spray thing, see if there's any trace of blood on there.
Okay, so maybe the BB gun could have been used somewhere. And then what would the person do? Would she be tied up or not tied up or what? How do you control it?
Well, if you knock somebody out, you know, you wouldn't really have to tie them up. Now, Channy's 87 pounds. She'd be very easy to get out of there just by carrying her. In fact, I've told my story to these 2 guys. We put her on tape, talked about it before, and then come back down, put her on tape, if I remember right. In fact, today we come up with the possibility of the guy using the BB gun on her, you know, thumping her upside the head.
I picked up details sitting here that you've told us that I never picked up before. Just by having another perspective of it, we're sitting and listening more, and somebody else is doing the interview. And I have picked up several things, details of things that you said that may be helpful. That I didn't hear before, so I think it's helpful.
This is working.
She was there at the trailer when I left. She was not there, and the BB gun was not there. But the BB gun was back there when me and Linda got back, because that's the first thing I noticed. I have taken people over the whole route, not hiding anything. I took the deputy over, showed him my route. I have taken our group of people going out and looking for Channy. They've been over the same route. In fact, if we be going down one road, we see any place where the people have pulled over, we get out and walk around. I've asked them, people with me, you see any stuff you want to look? Let me know, go look. And I want to, Been out with the deputies a couple times. In fact, I kind of insisted about having this checked out chemically. So I don't know. Channy would never, in her life, I doubt, I would be on the verge of saying, she would never set the BB gun like it was and set the box of pellets on top of it. She was never that neat. Hell, I don't even do that. Especially when you got a piece of plywood on two sawhorses laying there. That's where the BB gun should have been.
Okay, was this BB gun supposed to be kept on the plywood outside? Or you remember just 4 months earlier, he said it was normally by the pantry. And then in 2012, he says, oh, it was kept in my bedroom. Which is it?
Okay. How did you happen to notice that the BB fog gun was missing?
Well, it's right there by the door. You got a little pantry, and you got about that much room between the pantry and the door. Mm-hmm. And that BB gun's been there since we moved in that trailer. It's very easy, you know, something that's just always there is very noticeable if it ain't there.
Okay.
The morning Channy goes missing, and I know this is, 20 plus years ago, but in reading the reports, it sounded like you guys got up early as usual. You were going to take Linda to work, and Channy was up doing Linda's hair or whatever. Do you remember seeing her that morning?
Yeah, she was there.
Okay.
See, I took Linda to work, went on to work. There was nothing for me to do on the equipment because the parts hadn't come in.
Okay.
And I was going to go to the dentist.
First, he was going to work on his pickup. Then he wanted to take pictures of deer. Now he's supposed to have went to the dentist. I don't know. It was a busy day for this guy.
But they couldn't get me in, so I went back up the house. Channy was there, and I told her, let's go out and look at the deer, because the fawns.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she had to do some stuff with that Linda wanted her to get done. Mm-hmm. So I said, I'll go out, come around. No, they give you plenty of time, and I'll pick you up and we'll go. I come back, she wasn't there.
Okay.
And I figured, okay, she was down playing with the other kids. I didn't think of it. And I went and picked up Linda when she got off work. Channy still wasn't there.
Now, when you came back and she wasn't there, were the doors locked? Did it look like anybody broke in?
They were unlocked.
Okay.
And the BB gun was outside,
Okay.
laying against the camper.
Now, was that Byron's BB gun or
Mine.
Oh, yeah. Where did you keep yours?
In the bedroom.
In your bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay. And it was gone, or it was out laying against the camper?
Yeah, leaning against the camper.
Anything in the house or outside the house looked like it was disturbed, or like there had been a ruckus or anything like that?
I didn't see anything.
Okay. So do you think there's any way Linda could have hurt Channy?
No. No way. Like I said, Channy was a favorite. She was so much a Channy, they were just, so close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know, obviously times have changed, so one of the questions we'd ask now is, you think at the time, you think Channy was suicidal?
No way.
No.
Not that I know of. She loved to go fishing. And she loved to go shooting BBs. I messed up and made a promise to the kids. Said, you help clean up around here, do some little chores, earn some money, and I'll buy you both BB guns. Channy was so small. Channy was about the size of a 6-year-old. Real petite, And I bought the smallest BB gun and had cut 4 inches off the stock.
Oh, wow.
And then it was still just a little bit too long.
Wow. So she was tiny?
Tiny.
he had ripped a patch of her hair out.
And she had a really big black eye, and it had a little cut underneath it right here. I asked her, I'm like, Rochanda, what happened? And she said, my stepdad did this.
So you like to spend time with her?
Yeah. You know, I abuse the kids anyway, you know.
But you did give them spankings once in a while.
You know, as kids get older, you don't need to spank them as much, you know, ground them or...
It's time that you eradication to give Channy a spank. They grow up then.
Yeah. You know, until later that night, neither me or Linda was even began to get worried about her because, you know, there has been many times that they don't come home till dark, behind our Channy. And like I said, you know, when it started getting dark, you know, starting to get dusk, we went out looking for her because we were going to nail her. She was going to get in trouble. Because she was not home when she was supposed to be.
Okay. How frequently does she get in trouble?
Not very often. Every once in a while you got to remind a kid that they do have things to do or the time they're supposed to be home. Usually both Byron and Channy is very good on being home when they're supposed to be.
But I mean, how frequently would Channy end up getting punished?
We really don't punish them all that much. You know,
have you ever spanked her?
Yes.
Okay, with what?
I made a paddle. And at Linda's request, I started disciplining the kids. She had to get on to me a couple times, but, you know, about her always having to discipline the kids and me not. So she said, you spank harder.
Okay. So how frequent would that be?
Both Byron and Channy is very good kids, and maybe once every 3 months per kid. Usually, you know, you could just talk to them and it'd sink through their head.
When's the most recent time that you spanked them?
Somewhere close to a year.
Okay. In terms of other forms of discipline, then you would verbally reprimand her,
yes,
like you said, and then also would you discipline her by grounding her and not letting her do certain
She has
things?
been grounded.
Okay, and then doing chores, would that be a form of discipline at times?
Discipline is not doing chore work. They got their chores they're supposed to do.
Okay. So discipline would be spanking?
No.
Reprimand?
Well, you know, it's
grounding?
Grounding mainly. Because as kids get older, you can't spank them all the time. But if you take privileges away, it seems to get them more sink into the head better. And it's easier on me.
Okay. Now, was there ever any time where you really lost your temper with her?
Not with her, with Byron, yes.
Now, did you ever slug Byron or kick him?
No, I spanked the daylights out of him. He got pissed off at his mother and he tried to swing at her, and then he went stomping down to his bedroom and punched his fist against the door and put a hole in the door. And Linda come out and got me and told me what happened. And she said, you get that damn paddle and you go in there and beat the shit out of his ass.
Now you just want to have a normal day. Just a normal day. That's all you want.
So, speaking of rules, and I talked to Linda a little bit, a couple times, about discipline. Was she the only one that disciplined Byron and Channy, or?
I'd never disciplined Channy, but I did have to spank Byron once.
Okay.
Because he went to hit his mother.
Oh, I see.
So I spanked him.
Okay.
He was in his bedroom.
Okay. Linda spank either one of them that you remember?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I've never seen her spank. She's, get to your room.
Okay, yeah. What, so Linda, when she would discipline the kids, it was pretty much yelling, right? Now, you said you spanked Byron once. Was that with a hand, with a belt?
By hand.
By hand.
Don't believe in belts and stuff.
No paddles?
Oh, we had a paddle that I made for David.
David?
Yeah, he has 5 girls, stepgirls.
Oh, David Harris?
And Carlene asked for a paddle, so I made her a paddle.
I see. The yard manager up there at the time mentioned, actually, I think he retired shortly. I think he retired the December before Channy went missing, and he said that one time there was some damage done by Byron to right outside of Channy's door, like he was trying to break in to undo the door or something. Do you remember that at all? You had called him because Byron had punched
That was
a hole
actually
in
on his door.
On
Byron's door.
Oh, okay. Tell me what was going on with Byron then?
That's when he tried to hit Linda. Okay. He went run to his room. Okay. That's the time I spanked him.
Okay. So did he punch it? Or did he use something to hit it or anything like that?
I guess he punched it with his fist.
Okay. But that wasn't Channy's room. That was
his room.
Byron's room.
We want her to come back. We're all praying for her to come back.
Yeah, you bet.
I'd even kiss her if she'd come back. Wouldn't even beat her if she'd run off, or she'd run off. You know, we'd all be so goddamn glad to see her that I don't think anybody would say a harsh word to her. All the trouble, I think, if she see all the trouble she's caused and the heartache, I think that'd be enough to make her feel bad.
The first time we had any contact with you was on the 11th, on the evening of the 11th, sometime after 4th of July. I don't remember the exact time that we got here. And we had talked to you, and we had asked you, we went up and looked, with your permission, looked through her bedroom, through your house, to see if we could determine if anything was missing. Was that right, with your permission? Right. And you showed us the pickup that you was driving that day, right? And you let us look at your pickup. Right. And we did go through your pickup, search your pickup, with your permission.
Check my guns.
And checked your guns. There was no problem with that with you. No. And remember me having a conversation with you, I asked if I could look at a rope that was in your pickup. Sure. And you said no problem with that. Right. And when I looked at the rope, I noticed there was some hair on that rope. Right. And you told me what?
Well, that's the rope that Channy uses to play with cats. She'll move it around, sometimes she'll fling it around her head, drag it. You know how little girls always play with cats. She just drags it all over the place. And
when was the last time you seen that rope?
I really can't say. First time I remember it was when you had brought to my attention, it was in the back of my pickup.
You don't remember seeing it that morning?
Well, like I said, I was cleaning up. I might throw it in the back of my pickup to get it off the ground. I can't say.
What were you say that?
The night of the 9th.
The day before?
Yeah.
When you was cleaning the patio?
Right.
Okay. Did you wash your pickup that night too?
Not the pickup, no.
Okay. Did you wash your pickup the can?
No, I haven't washed my pickup in about good a week. had, let's see, I kind of hosed it down. I didn't even hose it down there. I just moved it outside.
Okay, I just want to go back and look at something real quick. It says, the detective says, okay, did you wash your pickup that night too? No. The pickup? No. Okay, did you wash your pickup the 10th? No, I haven't washed my pickup in about a good week. The detective. Okay. Didn't hose it off or anything? Just hosed it down? John. No. Just, I had let's see. I kind of hosed it down. I didn't even hose it down then. I just moved it outside and washed the front of the patio. What the hell are you talking about? Keep in mind, this is not like it's 4 or 5 weeks, 4 or 5 months like the other interviews. This is only 3 days ago. I know a lot of shit's happening, but this guy remembers all kind of shit, but forgets major stuff. Like, well, I remember what color her socks were, but that rape charge? Can't remember that. Okay.
And washed the front of the patio, even underneath Lynn's car in the camper. It was, when was that? Oh, that was a couple days prior to all this. And then I got busy night and night and moved things all around, got everything out of the way by our porch, and moved sawhorses and garbage cans around so I can clean up all the birds and the mice all get brought in right around the porch area. And then you got all the feathers and then there's little sawdust. But the accumulated stuff.
There were 2 short pieces of rope that were picked out, correct?
Yeah.
One was cotton rope, and the other one was a little type of
Plastic braided stuff.
How did that rope get more? You said you don't know how that was.
No, I might have, might have threw it in there. Jenny might have threw it in there because she helped me clean up, move things around a little bit.
Remember we showed you the ropes?
Yeah.
And as I recall, there's quite a bit of hair on the ropes.
Yeah, on that one, you did mention there was hair on it.
Well, a lot of brown hair. Did you see that when we showed the tape?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Whose hair is that?
I don't know. It could be Channy's when she was moving around. Channy does have long hair.
Well, how did she get her hair on the rope?
Well, she was moving the rope around her head, down with the cats to run around her. They couldn't get that way.
Okay, when she's pulling around her head, one end of it dragging to the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. When she's how tall?
Linda says, she said the other day that she's 4'8".
So that rope going to go along the ground for the cats would have to be over 5 foot.
Something like that. I don't know how long the rope is.
We figured it was about 5 foot.
Yeah, all right, son.
Okay, the time was 7:31. We was interrupted by a phone call, and the time's now 7:34, and we'll continue with the state statement.
During that phone call, we didn't discuss.
No.
This.
Okay, I think
We were talking about swinging the rope and the length.
Like I said, I don't know how long that one rope is, so.
Are they tied together or?
No. They shouldn't have been.
I just threw this one in to show you the memory that he has when he wants to have a memory.
At any time ever, now think of this carefully, okay, have you gone ahead and been charged with any sex crime, ever a suspect in any sexual crime?
Yes.
Okay, what was that?
I was charged with a rape of this one girl. I don't even remember her name. That was quite a few years ago. It wasn't even brought up to court. all charges was dismissed.
What brought that about?
The girl in question was very heavy on drugs, and
what was her name?
I don't know. Like I told you,
Okay.
I don't even.
What county was this in? So if I go and look up the record,
It'd be Lynn County, I think.
It'd be Lynn County. What year was it?
I don't remember. It was before I started working for the state, and that was almost 13 years ago.
So it'd be about 13 years ago?
It'd probably be closer to 13 or 14 years ago.
Okay. Now, all I want to know is just what she said that you did.
I guess she'd say that I, tried to forcefully attack her.
Okay. Well, John, I'm going to look up the records, and what I want to do is I want to get an accurate sense of what had happened there, what she's saying. Okay. Your memory regarding that. So what specifically were you supposed to have done?
You're asking somebody to remember back over 13 years ago, and a lot of times I can't even remember what happened last week.
Well, but the thing is, you do have a good knowledge, good memory of detail, just what you're giving me so far. Yeah. You've got a good memory, and this would be a very significant event in your life. And for very significant events, what happens is people remember in detail regarding those events. Imagine it was somewhat traumatic to be charged for this, right?
Yes.
It certainly would stand out as an important feature in your life, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you think about it for just a moment, you'll remember the details surrounding the case.
Right.
Just take your time and just think about it.
All I remember about it is this girl needed a ride home. She was over at Sister's Rodeo, and she was worried about her baby.
Now, in the morning, or about 10, almost 10.
A lot of different places up there you can go out and see deer any time of the day.
And yet he took not one picture of any deer.
I told us that Rashonda wouldn't do that, though. She wouldn't ask to go do that. Others about this whole case, and you can see it sitting in front of us here, so it hasn't lacked the things that we've done on it. We've done a lot of work. I've never been able to find anybody, that's positively seen her since you did.
But, I did not. And in fact, I even told you guys, but when I was going, I go out and look. What I would do if I found somebody that had hurt her.
What is bothering me is the pickup that's got her hair on.
Yeah, she played with ropes with the cats. And
I got rope. And she said it's a different rope. For me, there's some evidence, the crime lab found some blood.
I got there when her and Byron, they always wrestle around.
I'll just be quite frank with you, I don't know, I just believe that something happened in there that morning.
I tell you right now, I did not.
Hard point now, because the blood in the bedroom and the rope and it just,
I didn't do nothing. She was there at the trailer when I left.
I'd like you to give me an explanation of that rope, how her hair got on there.
Like I said before, the only way I could think of is like sometimes she'd be playing with the kittens and she'd go around her head, have the kittens just running around her. That's the only way I can think of it.
What about the blood?
I don't know.
There's also some blood on the rope. How do you explain that blood in your pickup on the doorpost?
I don't know.
Don't you think it's a logical explanation like I'm telling you that it could come off your hand after?
Yeah, you keep coming back to that, I did something to Channing. I did not do nothing to Channing. And I told you before, I do not know how to plug you out of the post. And I gave you my explanation. It was the only way that I know that Chinese here got on the road. I'm telling you everything I know.
Was that really anything that's happened on that route that you took that you would have any reason to be worried about or paranoid about?
Not that I know of.
The only thing I can tell you is that physical evidence don't lie. That's something that we can't make up. It's something that's there, and physical evidence does not lie. We can't ensure that it just doesn't lie.
Right.
Physical evidence that we have is hair on that road, blood in her bedroom, blood on your pickup, blood on that road. Now that's some good physical evidence, right? That comes and links them back to one person. That's you.
But I didn't do nothing.
Nobody else. It doesn't come back to the neighbors. It doesn't come back to somebody else sooner. It comes right back to you. That's what it comes.
And I keep telling you, I did nothing. Of course, I can sit here and tell you I did nothing 200 billion times.
Anyway, do you remember ever that blue and white truck? There was a, I don't know what you guys call them, but we called them a headache rack. There was a headache rack in the back of the truck, in the bed.
Well, it had a cage.
Yeah. And there was it looked like the cage had been taken out or put in. And then the bed of the truck had been primer grade. So where it was blue on the bed was primer grade. Does that ring a bell at all?
No.
All right, and there was also, Byron looked at this one, and he thought that there was a wooden box back here that when you guys went to, like during the winter when you would go to the store,
Yeah.
you put groceries and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And he didn't know, and I see that rack's right up here.
Yeah.
What happened to that box?
That was sitting up there at the trailer. We took it out to put everybody in it. So when we're
Oh, for searching?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And do you remember?
Who got that? Somebody got that from me. I don't know if one of the guys up there got it from me
Okay.
or what, but no. I think my nephew got it from me. So long.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long
Somebody
time.
got it from me.
Okay. When the box in the back of your truck, you took it out so people could fit in the back of your truck, I think is what you told me last time.
We had it in there for a while,
Right.
and then I don't know when we took it out. But we had a lot of people in the back.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Where would you have put that box?
Right up there in the carport.
Anywhere else it could have been?
No, because when we got through searching, we put it back in the truck.
Okay.
But that was probably a week. It was in there probably a week. State police checked it out.
Okay.